What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lewis, and on today's video, just like we did in January and in February, we are going to go over my top 5 current bowling balls through March 2025. And I'm doing this to kind of keep you guys accountable, or keep myself accountable, so that at the end of the year when I give you a top 5, you know, there could be some bowling balls that we have just been talking about the entire time, and that way at the end there's no surprises. I'm also going to tell you what my top 5 was last month, so that you can see what changes, if any, and there's a lot of changes into my top 5. And I'm basing, so that way it's not coming across as recency bias or anything like that. There's a ball that was in my top 5 that has fallen completely out of the top 5, and I'll get to that when I get to that number. Before we continue with this list, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're on the way to the next big major milestone. And you know I can't get there without you. Down below in the description is going to be a link where you can order any of these bowling balls, the chamois, the ball spinner that the balls typically sit on. And I would super appreciate it if you went through those links. All right, so my top 5 in February was number 5, Zen 25, number 4, Hypnotize, number 3, Jackal Onyx, number 2, Black Widow Mania, and number 1, Lethal Venom. That was my top 5 last month, and I'm going to tell you that 2 of those balls are no longer on the list, and every single ball that was on the list is in a different number. Some have moved up, some have moved down, and it's just the way, you know, it's just the way that things are. And yeah, sometimes recency bias can fall into place with some of these lists, but I do my best to try to be as honest, as upfront. And you know, if I no longer throw the ball because of X, Y, or Z reason, then I think that that's good information as to why it has fallen off the list. Okay, so coming in at number 5, previously was the Zen 25. Now it's the Hypnotize. So the Hypnotize fell from 4 to 5. It's still a really, really good ball. I just don't throw it nearly as much. And, you know, it's still on this list basically because of some of the another ball that fell out and a few more balls that came in. But yeah, the Hypnotize is a strong asymmetric hybrid bowling ball, and it's pretty versatile. It hooks a lot. Maybe the most hooking ball of 2025 so far. Yeah, the Brunswick Hypnotize is coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, previously was the Jackal Onyx. Previously was the Hypnotize. Now it's going to be the Jackal Onyx. Very strong, asymmetrical, solid, very diggy, very rolly. If you're in the market for a very strong, not benchmark ball, obviously, because it's too strong for a benchmark, but if you're in the market for a strong asym solid, like the very tippy top of your bag, where it's going to dig early, it's going to be very, very smooth, Jackal Onyx is going to be number 4 on my list. And it still has not really lane shined at all, which has just blown my mind with how long that cover has lasted on this Jackal Onyx, because there's a ball on this list that is no longer on the list because the cover did not last very long at all. So, coming in at number 3, previously was the Jackal Onyx. Now is actually the Radical Torpedo Direct Hit, the ultimate meme ball. And like, I'm so surprised because when we first got told about the direct hit, all I could do was laugh. I'm like, why do we need another ball like this? Why do we need another spy? Why? And then I throw it with polish, and I struck like crazy, used it for spares. Then I was told, hey, try it with some surface. Did that, and arguably rolled even better. So, you know, I was going meme ball, but I don't think it's a meme ball anymore. Yeah, the Radical torpedo, direct hit. So, number 2 previously was the Black Widow Mania. Now it has gone from 2 to outside the top 5. And that seems like a pretty egregious move, but the reason I did that was because the cover just did not last. Over the last couple of weeks, I've tried to throw it in practice a little bit, and it just does not perform anything like it did out of the box. I tried to redo the surface at the pro shop with like 3 different methods, and all of them resulted in the ball just not performing like it did out of the box. Now, how it rolls out of the box is obviously important, but I would argue that ability to repeat that is more important. And I just have not got there with the Black Widow Mania. But number 2 is actually going to be the Motive Lethal Venom. So previously the Lethal Venom was 1, now it's dropping to 2, not a big drop, but it's number 2 for all of the same reasons, right? It's the benchmark ball. Last year, my number 1 ball at the end of the year was a benchmark ball. This year, you know, and listen, the Lethal might go back into the number 1 spot at some point. But for right now, it's number 2. It's the benchmark ball. It's early, it's round, it's predictable. I can rely on this ball. It's been my go-to ball for the fresh. Easy math on the on the Lethal Venom. And then coming in at number 1, you know, like I said, previously was the Lethal Venom. Coming in at number 1, this ball went from, well, it hadn't even been announced yet in February. So it went from not in the top 5 to number 1. And for a couple different reasons. It's the Motive Evoke Hysteria. You guys know, from the moment I drilled this ball, I have loved it immediately. It is probably the best ball that Motive has come out with in a very long time. And look, I got 3 Motive balls in the top 5. And like, they're just very good. And so the Evoke Hysteria has won several tournaments already. It just came out. I shot my high series 2-handed with the Evoke Hysteria, like 690 something. It's just a ball that has been so good. Like, it's like hard to believe how good the Evoke Hysteria has been. And if you're just in the market for a new bowling ball, I would be hard pressed not to say, hey, if you just need a new bowling ball, you don't care what it is, I'm gonna say, get you the Motive Evoke Hysteria. So yeah, that's my top 5. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this top 5, what you want to see different in these videos, everything like that. We'll see you guys on the next one.